Hello everyone. In my today's class, I am going to talk about the Valsalva maneuver. I am going to discuss about the indication of Valsalva maneuver, then the procedure, that means how it is done. I am going to talk about different phases of Valsalva maneuver and the changes of blood pressure and heart rate during these phases, and regarding the safety of Valsalva maneuver. Now, why Valsalva maneuver is done? Valsalva maneuver is an important part of the autonomic function test. That means it is done to see the integrity of autonomic nervous system. Okay, so during the Valsalva maneuver, the changes in heart rate, or also known as heart rate response, then blood pressure changes, then Valsalva ratio. Valsalva ratio, this is the ratio of maximum heart rate to minimum heart rate. Okay, these are the very important things to find out the integrity of autonomic nervous system. Secondly, Valsalva maneuver is very important therapeutic option for some of the supraventricular tachycardia. In some of the supraventricular tachycardia, we can ask the patient to do the Valsalva maneuver, which might help to reduce the heart rate. Okay, which might help the heart to come back to its normal rate. So these are the two very important indication of Valsalva maneuver. Now let's see how the Valsalva maneuver is done, or what is the procedure of doing Valsalva maneuver. In Valsalva maneuver, there is actually forced expiration against a closed glottis. The patient is asked to expire forcefully with a closed glottis, and the patient will keep his mouth shut and he will pinch his nose. So with closed nose and mouth, the patient will try to expire forcefully. Now, how it is done in the lab? The patient is asked to blow to a mouthpiece which will be connected to a sphygmomanometer against a pressure of 40 mmHg. The patient has to blow, and the patient has to continue blowing for at least 10 to 15 seconds, and after that patient can release the straining. Okay, so this is how it is done in a laboratory. Again, I am telling, the patient is asked to blow to a mouthpiece which will be attached to a sphygmomanometer, and the patient has to blow against a pressure of 40 mm of mercury, and the patient has to blow for at least a period of 10 to 15 seconds, and after that patient will release the strain. Okay, now let's talk about the phases or different phases of Valsalva. There are 4 phases of Valsalva. In the first phase, it is also known as the phase of initiation or initiation of straining. In this phase, if we see the changes in blood pressure, there will be increase in blood pressure. Why there is increase in blood pressure? Because there is increase in intrathoracic pressure, which will lead to increased blood pressure. In the heart rate response, there is not much change of heart rate in this phase. Next phase is phase of straining. Okay, in this phase, initially the blood pressure is reduced, and after some time, after few seconds, at least around 4 to 5 seconds, it comes back to normal. So why initially there is reduction of BP? Because there is decreased in venous return. Because of decrease in venous return, the blood pressure falls, and as soon as there is fall in blood pressure, the baroreceptors gets activated, and due to baroreceptor reflex, the blood pressure again comes back to normal. And in this phase, in the heart rate response, we can see that there is a steady increase in the heart rate. Now coming to phase 3. Phase 3 is known as the phase of release. That means the patient starts releasing the strain in this phase. In this phase, there is reduction in blood pressure. Why there is reduction in blood pressure? Because there is mechanical distribution of blood into the pulmonary circulation, and because of this there is decrease in blood pressure. In this phase, there is not much change of heart rate, or there is very little change in heart rate. The next phase is phase of further release. In this phase there is increase in blood pressure. Okay, since the patient is releasing the strain, okay, there will be increase in venous return again, and because of increase in venous return, the blood pressure comes back to normal, and usually the blood pressure overshoots. Okay, and in this phase there is steady decrease in heart rate. So these are the 4 phases of Valsalva, and these are the changes of blood pressure and heart rate as I have discussed. Now if we talk about the safety of Valsalva maneuver, before asking for the Valsalva procedure, okay, we should make sure that the patient is not suffering from these diseases, or you should be very careful in advising a patient of these diseases to do a Valsalva maneuver. If the patient is suffering from high blood pressure, hypertension, if the patient is suffering from coronary artery disease, okay, if the patient is suffering from congenital heart disease, if there is any history of retinal disease, retinal hemorrhage or retinal detachment, in a patient of disorder of tympanic membrane, while doing the Valsalva there may be rupture of tympanic membrane. So you should be very careful in these conditions before prescribing or before asking for a Valsalva maneuver. Okay. So these are the points in Valsalva maneuver which I wanted to discuss in my today's class. Thank you.